Chargers end up beating the Carolina Panthers 26-3. So bad that Bryce Young has now been benched and Andy Dalton will be starting for those Carolina Panthers. Yesterday, Dave Canales says, oh, yeah, no, Bryce is our quarterback. He's our guy. Today, 24 hours later, a different tune. Oh, Andy Dalton is now our starting quarterback. Gilbert, first off, what did you make of the game? And we'll get into Bryce Young in a bit, but what did you make about of the game? What did you think about the way J.K. Dobbins does it again, Gilbert? I mean, he had 131 yards rushing, a touchdown. He had a 44-yard touchdown. Gilbert, the fullback on that play was Gus Edwards, who was able to make a good block to open up the touchdown.
Yeah, sorry, I just saw some of those comments from Angel. Shout out to you, Angel. But speaking of the comment, it's funny, not to put somebody out there on blast. I don't even remember the person's name, but if I'm talking about you, say hello. But I saw one of the comments, maybe on What's Up Bolts recap or Compas on the Beat. Somebody is saying, I don't know if I'm gonna get used to Justin Herbert throwing for under 200 yards per game. And I'm like, what's wrong with that? Like, they're winning the damn games here. Have the rushing attack do what they do. Herbert, protect yourself. Hopefully the offensive line does better. He got banged up a little bit in Carolina, but who cares about stats for Justin Herbert? You're winning the games. When it's time to unleash the son of Odin, whatever else Dan and Diego says, the time will come. It's going to be in the playoffs, crunch time, tight game, the fourth quarter, 2 minutes to go. It's going to be up to Justin Herbert. But for right now, what's wrong with that? Winning kind of in ugly fashion. Well, not really. J.K. Dobbins is doing great. That first touchdown that he had, where you broke free to the left side, was beautiful. Yes, the Panthers are a JV team. They
no more somersaulting, Gilbert. He was told by Joe Ortiz, which was no more somersaulting.
That was very cool. But keep being healthy and staying safe. And what a comeback story. I think he might have been on the Pat McAfee show. I think I saw.
He was on it last week and he was on it this week.
Oh, and he's best friends with Aaron Rodgers. So it's a great comeback.
He's leading the league right now in rushing yards.
Yeah, and I picked him up on the wire in fantasy football. I should have listened maybe a couple of weeks ago when you mentioned potential comeback player of the year. Having a great year so far. But I'm not, again, when you're playing the Panthers, there's not too much you could take away from, but it's the same formula, same recipe to winning games. Keep doing that. It is just amazing that Jim Harbaugh was able to turn around that running game so quickly. Even Jesse Minter's defense is doing well. I know it's maybe one game of a sample size because the Panthers don't count. But if you're going to ask me, I think you might have asked me about Bryce Young originally, but I think it's the right move, Fernando. It's about damn time. I pretty much, wrote last week, Bryce Young is not ready to be a starter in the NFL. I kind of wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Hey, it's either Dave Canales had a crappy offseason and maybe, stop thinking about his resume with Geno Smith and Baker Mayfield and maybe it's the coach. But I'm like, no, he what he did with Baker and Geno was great. He's a quarterback whisperer. He has a great offensive mind. I think maybe Bryce Young is just not ready to play. Yes, the Panthers have a terrible offensive line. Yeah, maybe the weapons are kind of whatever. They added some pieces with Deontay Johnson. They drafted Xavier Legette, the first-round pick.
Adam Thielen is there.
Adam Thielen, but if you gave up so much to get the guy and draft them over C.J. Stroud, by the way, ouch, 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 who looked fantastic on Sunday Night Football. But you got to give Canales kind of a chance. What are you talking about? Get out of here. The 2-0. That's my team. My team. Yeah, I have a lot of teams. The Cardinals won. My team. But the point is, he just doesn't look ready to play as a starter. Even last year when Andy Dalton came in a couple of times, they won that one game, I think, with Andy Dalton. So to see what Canales has as a head coach and an offensive mind, you got to let him have a competent quarterback. I hate to say it, but it's getting to that point where he's not ready to be even a backup in the NFL. It feels like Zach Wilson territory. So you got to see what you have. But you can't let the Panthers off the hook for making a smart decision now because they threw away their future when they made that trade, which is dumb when you traded Christian McCaffrey. You traded DJ Moore. How do you want the quick fix, David Tepper, when you traded all your best players and you traded all your draft capital? And here, Bryce Young, do what you want to do and win now and fire a bunch of coaches. But it's a dumpster fire there. And at least it happened now to bench him. That way you could kind of learn from the game on the sideline.
I just hope that Bryce one, will learn from this, and two, he doesn't overreact. Because I think I saw somebody say that him and his family were very shocked by this.
Really?
I just hope that he takes a deep breath and he doesn't jump the gun and say, "Okay, I want to be traded like right now."
You can't act like a number one pick when you haven't done crap. It's been over a year.
Exactly. So, but the thing is, but something that you said right there, they need to stop comparing him to CJ Stroud. And I think that's the one thing I've really hated. And that's what I've hated always. Like Phillip Rivers, Ben Roethlisberger, and Eli Manning were always connected. All the quarterbacks from every draft class are connected. They need to be separate just because, I mean, that's why at one point I felt bad for RG3 because they were like, well, look at everything that Andrew Luck is doing. And it's kind of like, okay, well, you need to take a step back. Like all that is different. I just feel like they need to take a step back and not think about TJ Stroud in that sense. Just be like, all right, how can we help Bryce Young get better? One, that offensive line. Oof. That offensive line. I don't know if I saw the stat today. The Chargers defense is only letting a quarterback have 2.45 seconds from the moment that he snaps the ball.
Yeah.
Before pressure. They're already on top of him. That's incredible. That's yesterday. What were they showing? Caleb Williams. It took him 2.67 seconds to release the ball. And that was him improving.
He got body slammed like 8 times or no lineman around. That's
what I'm telling you. Like he has to have I don't know. He just has to have some, like, they need to do more help around him. Angel, we will answer your question about J.K. Dobbins in a second. I just feel like the Cardinals did everything, or the Texans did everything right by C.J. Stroud by getting him a lot of weapons last year, and then this year they've only improved. Nico Collins is a hell of a receiver. Oof. That guy is ridiculous.
He's super underrated.
I don't even think they needed Stephon Diggs. I'm wondering what's going to start happening when Stephon Diggs isn't getting fed because everything's going at Nico Collins and Tank Dell.
Team captain Stephon Diggs. Don't forget it.
And then they brought in Joe Mixon. Like, you're doing things to make your quarterback better. On the other side, like Miles Sanders, I guess, but like you're getting guys in there that you need to improve that offensive line. You need a whole overhaul. And maybe being a top 5 pick next year is going to be good. Maybe you can go get one of these left tackles or right tackles or
a quarterback.
Or
a quarterback.
I'd hold on a little bit.
Really? Wow.
If Canales is this quarterback guru, give him a year with Bryce Young and let's see what he can do. Give him a left tackle. Give him a right tackle. Give him some other players. I just don't like giving up yet because look at what happened with Baker Mayfield. The Cleveland Brown fans are begging for him now back all of a sudden. Why? Because he did exactly what I said. He was with the Panthers. And look at him. Look at Sam
Maybe
Darnold.
Trade Bryce Young to the Rams, learn from Sean McVay, and then go back to Carolina.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. They probably want CJ Stroud to do or Bryce Young to do the same thing. But that's what I'm saying. It's like you need to do more, and you need to do more to help this kid out. Maybe sitting him is the best thing. Maybe it puts that fire in the belly. Because remember, this kid hasn't been challenged. He was at Mater Dei High School, I believe, and then he goes to Alabama. He's the guy. He's never been challenged like this. Let's see what kind of quarterback you have with him taking this challenge. Are you going to be the teammate that says, all right, F it, I'll be the backup, I'll learn, I'll scheme, I'll everything, I'll learn from my head coach, I'll stay after, I'm going to stay longer than Andy Dalton is to show them I'm taking this seriously? Or are you just going to pout on the side, request a trade, and just do essentially what everybody thinks that most of these guys are going to do? So that's kind of my take on that. But I just think that they need to put more around him. That offensive line isn't helping. I mean, yeah, there was only 2 sacks, but that's because he was just throwing the ball into the dirt into the turf most of the time. You can't even say dirt anymore. Throwing it into the turf because he was just so nervous about making a mistake. I mean, that interception that Elijah Molden had, he just jumped right through. Like, he read it all the way. He jumped right through and he got him. The Denzel Perryman one, it was a 3rd down and he wanted to make a play. He held on to it. And then he took a big shot from Denzel Perryman. And it's kind of like, come on, dude. Like, those are things that you need to learn. But when you don't have the team around you, it's kind of hard to be able to do that. But we'll see what happens with him. I saw a video of Andy Dalton. He was excited about starting again. So I wonder, I texted Joe Morley, are you nervous? I was like, the Red Rifle's back, cock locked and ready to drop a team.
Hey, Dave Canales, he likes to save those veterans who just need a second or third opportunity. So
He's the
maybe,
Captain Save-A-Ho. So there you go. Like all you need to do
yeah,
is
number one pick, gross. Get the hell out of here.
I know exactly the Red Rifle. Bring them on. Let's do this. But real quick, Angel asked, "Do you guys think that he will continue to play like this, or he'll slow down?" It depends on the offensive line.
Yeah,
I think it truly depends on the offensive line. I mean, yesterday the Panthers were stacking the box, and the Chargers were still getting plays. There was one play, Gilbert, where on the left side they had Will Dissly at tight end, I think. They had Rashawn Slater, Joe Alt, and then Zion Johnson. All three of them to get like all four of those guys together
wow,
on the left side, and they ran that way. Gus Edwards was at fullback. They were doing a lot of different, and that's the thing. The more and more they scheme, the more they do things. I think J.K. Dobbins could sustain it, but I do think that he needs a little bit more help from Gus Edwards. And Gus Edwards, I thought, had a better game yesterday than he had the day before. It's just that Gus isn't as quick. When the holes open up, you need a guy that can just dart through, and that's what J.K. Dobbins does. He darts through. Gus Edwards is more patient. He waits for the hole to open up, and then he hits it. So you have two completely different styles of running back, but I do think that J.K. can continue this. I think he really is on a positive a positive trend. And right now, I think I saw he has 3 games against the Pittsburgh Steelers in his career. He has 326 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns against them. So yeah, he had 113 one game, 120 another, and 93 in the other. So that'll be interesting. Go ahead, Gilbert.
And Fernando, just to kind of sticking with the theme of comeback players or nice stories. Hey, Quentin Johnson, man, catching those touchdowns. It wasn't
the first one was very impressive.
Yeah, he brought it in
body. And against JC Horn, I mean, that's not.
But
I know JC Horn got picked on last week against the Saints, but that's not easy.
I get your point, but in a way, for him mentally, the second one might have been harder because he was wide open, and when he's open, he kind of thinks about it and then he'll drop it. But
by the way, Charger fans, you guys are assholes. There was one guy. Somebody tweeted out, Herbert made him fumble so when Quentin scored his first touchdown, he danced. Justin runs from he's running at him, and he like hugs him and tackles him, but he makes him fumble. Somebody's like, he didn't hold on to the football. I'm like, are you guys kidding? Like, that's how extreme you guys are gonna take this? I'm like, you guys are the worst. But no, I thought the body adjustment by him on that first one was pretty good. Now the only thing is, Herbert, you want to lead him. But other than that, I thought, Quentin, if Quentin can give you 5 catches for 51 yards a game, that's pretty good. I mean, I know, obviously, as a first-round pick, you want him to be around 70, 80, 90 yards. But, I mean, you can get what you can take. I'm okay with that.
It was a great day for Tom Telesco. His former first-round pick doing great with the Chargers. His new team beating the Baltimore Ravens in an upset. Tom Telesco, what a guy there. But
Joe Reedy was on fire yesterday.
Yeah, I saw the tweets there, or the X's. What the hell you call them?
Whatever it is.
But yeah, that's a nice story, and it's good that guys are taking turns, because obviously you don't have a clear number one. 1 week could be McConkey, 1 week Quentin Johnson, maybe 1 week is going to be Palmer, but that's I know. Well, that everybody thought, by the way, somebody talking about the fantasy football people, like everybody thought it's gonna be Kamani Vidal or it's gonna be Josh Palmer. Like you just don't know what Harbaugh, besides J.K. Dobbins, was being very consistent. Like he just doesn't care. Feed the hot hand, make a play, win the damn game, be physical.
I wish somebody would ask Jim Harbaugh about fantasy football. I think he would be like, what? What is this? What is? By the way, over under 26 points scored on Sunday with the 2-0 Steelers against the 2-0 Chargers. Chargers have allowed 13 points in 2 games. The Steelers have allowed 16 points in 2 games. There you go. We'll combine those 2 scores. 29 points, over or under 29 points combined.
That's very low. I bet that in Vegas it's probably like 30 something, which is still very low. But you know what? We could segue after this, but I honestly have overlooked the Pittsburgh Steelers because, sure, good defense, average offense. What's new, Mike Tomlin? So maybe, if they do something against the Chargers, I'll give them a little more respect. But beating the Broncos, sure, you beat the Falcons, but like this style of football, like I don't really care for it. I don't know, but maybe it's just me not being a fan of the old school game. But give me some more offense. I get Justin Fields is doing well, but come on.
Who the hell's going to give you more offense? Mahomes threw for 150 yards this
What are you
week.
talking about? My Cardinals and somebody Saints.
Oh,
They're not my
well,
team,
you're
but
getting a one-off from
those are
little
two 40
Kyler
burgers
Murray.
right there. Come on.
Is fantasy football a board game? That is hilarious.